Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe P. Pepiot. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, on a lovely, fun Friday. The trade deadline has ended. The dust is settled, and it was active. I don't know, Welsh. This felt to me like the most active trade deadline I've ever seen. Not necessarily the biggest blockbusters of all time. Some pretty big moves, that's for sure. We broke down a bunch of them yesterday. We have even more today to discuss. And of course, we're doing it on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be Monday through Friday for Leading Off right here, noon Eastern time. And of course, go watch us on demand on our YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. We got to be giving away that Juan Gonzalez jersey now. So that's it. Time. Do we get a new one? Did the new one pop up? I don't know yet. Maybe on Monday we'll have the new jersey to give away. But Welsh, our MLB insider, is here today. There were winners, there were losers. So for you, who was the biggest winner yesterday of the MLB trade deadline?
If I had to pick one, I kind of want to lean on it wasn't just about yesterday, it was about the Mariners. But I think there's three clear winners to me. Mariners, Padres, Mets. I think those are your clear winners across the board. The Mariners had one thing that they needed to figure out. One thing. Their bats. And that's what they did. They went out and talked to the Diamondbacks and said, would you like a bunch of nothing? And they're like, as a matter of fact, we would like a bunch of nothing. We'll give you everything. And that's what happened. And they got their bats to cover what is already a great bullpen, an incredible pitching staff. The Padres, I think, had so many holes in different spots. They had the blockbuster where they have the best bullpen in baseball. That's not even arguable, I think, at this point. They've got an incredible bullpen. They didn't get rid of Cease. They found a mechanical issue with Darvish. You got your starters back, and then they went and acquired a couple new hitters, which we'll talk about. And then the Mets kind of did, I think, a similar Padres-ish thing. Mm-hmm. They just covered a lot of different bases. They didn't really get into the rotation stuff, but they got a lot of bullpen help, as mentioned. They got a little bit on the bats. I think Mullins is a nice get for them. So I think those three are kind of in the driver's chair, but I would rank it probably like Seattle Padres is tier one, and then Mets are right there. Those are my winners. What do you think?
Well, look, it's a new day in Major League Baseball. So I think everybody saw the blueprint the Dodgers were laying out, last couple of years here. We were just going, starters for 5 innings, and then it's going to be bullpen you to death and specialization. And the Mets and Yankees, I think, did the best two jobs of fortifying the bullpen. Like, I like what the Phillies did too, getting Duran. That was the biggest missing link for them. Yeah. Huge for them. Do I trust the rest of the bullpen in between? Not necessarily, especially in the playoffs. But I think what the Mets did, what the Yankees did, I think was very good. I like, the Blue Jays getting Shane Bieber and then having him for next year, too. I thought that was very cagey. The losers, to me, I think the losers are the Tigers. I don't think did enough. That was the big one that stood out to me. Like the Tigers, you guys, are going to win 90-something games, and you're going to be ousted in the first round of the playoffs, I think. The Twins, I don't think, got what they needed to in return. The Brewers, I don't think did enough. The Braves not doing anything was weird to me. Like, what are you doing? Like, try to get some help for next year. And the Pirates, another one too, where they held Keller. Like, I don't know what those teams were doing. But let's talk about some of these moves here. I'll start with Carlos Correa, who's going back to the Twins. So we had Suarez going back to the Mariners, and then Carlos Correa going back to the Twins yesterday. So clearly a big need here. They needed some help in the infield with Paredes out for an extended period of time. Good move, good fit. Goes right back home to a place where he's very, comfortable playing. So I thought this was a huge win for the Astros. What did you think?
Yeah, they needed live bodies. They had absolutely nobody. Paredes is going to be out might be out till 26 at this point. Go back in time, 2016. They don't know what the hell's going on with Alvarez. Jeremy Pena, I believe, is actually going to be back today. But yeah, they need, if they're going to take this division, because what just happened? You had the Rangers, who improved slightly, a little bit of bullpen help and rotation help. The Mariners, who were already positioned, I think, in a good spot, made 2 huge moves. So you couldn't just sit on your laurels. I think getting Correa back is phenomenal. He understands this ballpark. He's had some of his best years clearly there. He's only had one good year with the Twins, and it was a year after the Astros. So yeah, him playing third base with Pena, I think they've got an incredibly strong infield, and I think offensively, like from a fantasy perspective, this is going to help him. So yeah, I really like this move, and that's a super, super competitive division. And I think just to throw in here, not to go backwards, but like you're saying about the losers. Like I think that division is a big winner. There were a bunch of, and the reason I'm saying this, there's a bunch of like loser teams that didn't do stuff they should have done. White Sox, Robert, Diamondbacks, Gallon. You mentioned the Pirates, but I think there were actually more losers in the AL East as well. And like I
the
just
Red Sox were quiet too, you know.
Yeah, Red Sox, they traded away Devers, and then they said, hey, we're gonna still compete, we're gonna do stuff. They didn't. They got Dustin May. I don't think the Yankees covered the areas they should have done. The Rays were just weird in what they were doing. I guess they did have some improvement. The Blue Jays, but what I'm getting at is like there were, I think, more negatives in that losers in that division. That division's all kind of crazy, and that just opens up the AL like as a whole, and then the Mariners and the Astra and all those teams improve. So I think that it makes it all but more competitive, and a bonus that they were able to go out and get Carlos Correa. Kind of shocked that it was like one prospect, and I think covering both most of the money, but this is what they should have done. And like I said, I think it's a plus for him in fantasy.
Look, the Carlos Correa move for me, the Astros again. It's like you don't have Alvarez. I just don't know what they're going to be without him in a big spot like that. That's the big thing to me coming back around to it. We'll find out. But look, Padres,
he's not back. They're still holding court in the division, and if they can get him
court in the division, but like without Alvarez, I just don't think they can. I don't think they've got a World Series run of them without a guy like Alvarez.
Agreed.
And not just Alvarez, healthy Alvarez, which I don't know if you're going to get anyway. The Padres did get Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano, so that was a really good job by them. Yeah. They also acquired Nestor Cortez, left-handed pitcher from the Brewers. So I love this. I mean, there's any prospects in here from any of these deals that really pop to you in this Padres sequence.
Yeah, the whole system. They traded their entire system. I'm not even joking. They traded like the draft, Boston Bateman, Cobb Hightower, Victor Figueroa, the
DeVries.
Leo DeVries clearly.
2 days ago, yeah.
It is comical. Like it is laughably comical what they do with their system. They've got like 3 prospects I can name like off the top of my head. Humberto Cruz, Ethan Salas, and I did this yesterday. Oh, and Cash Mayfield, who they took in the first. They traded everybody. And that's why this is like the biggest all-in spot. I like the offensive pieces that they got. Ryan O'Hearn, I think, is huge for this offense. Put him hitting 5 or 6. Though I will say, and me being negative about Suarez going to Seattle, which is just clearly a fantasy downgrade from a ballpark factor. Ryan O'Hearn is facing the same thing. Looking at ballpark factors, the Orioles from overall ballpark factor, Orioles were number 3 for left-handed hitters in all of baseball. Padres 4th worst in all of baseball. And then home run factor, Orioles number 1 in baseball. Number 1 home run factor for left-handed hitters out there. And the Padres, I think, are... What the hell are the Padres here? The Padres, they're 4th worst. Yeah, so I mean, like, this is not even arguably in a worse environment, but there's really great pieces around him which could create RBI opportunities. So I actually don't even know if I downgrade O'Hearn fully when you compare yes, it's a downgrade ballpark factor, but you got Tatis and Machado and all those guys hitting in front of you. That could create a bunch of really cool spots for him.
Let's go to Miss Liv's question here. Start 1, Mitch Keller at Coors or Kershaw Casey. I'll take Kershaw Casey for the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's not even close, unfortunately.
Also, Deez wants to know, Sheehan take May's spot in the rotation? No, because Snell's coming back. So that's it. Unless
I think
Sheehan might take Shohei Ohtani's spot in the rotation, depending on how he feels. Like that's more likely to happen, I think, than taking anybody else's spot. That's just my take.
One interesting thing too, I saw people throwing out that they're like, "Hey, could May like close in Boston?" I guess one of the reasons they also traded Dustin May was he wanted to be a starter. The Dodgers viewed him as a leveragey reliever, but he fully committed and wanted to be a starting pitcher. So I would imagine this trade kind of helps that. We go back with his buddy Walker Buehler, and he can be a starter in Boston.
The Astros acquired Jesus Sanchez. That was a cagey move by the Astros too. So the Astros,
another great one.
Sanchez, those 2 moves there, it definitely helps. Look, I just, again, you need that big straw that stirs the drink, and Alvarez is that guy. You mentioned the Dustin May trade. That was kind of the only thing the Red Sox did. I don't know.
They tried.
Go crazy for me.
But
the Yankees, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think one of the things that happened was the Red Sox were only in the market for the big dogs. I think they were only trying to get Joe Ryan and Sandy Alcantara, and all intents and purposes, it looks like those guys were asking for the absolute world. Like the Yankees apparently were in on Sandy. but the Marlins were demanding one of George Lombard and Spencer Jones, and the Yankees were just essentially putting them as untouchable. So you have to imagine
Flores in that deal, Rafael Flores, who I just saw play in person.
But he's not an untouchable prospect. He's a good prospect, though.
No, but I will tell you, do you remember when I came back for that game, the one thing I said? I like the catcher Flores. I was like, that's the one guy. Go back, everybody, watch that show. I don't know what day it was. But I said to you, Lombard completely unimpressed. The one guy that stood out to me was the catching prospect. I think Flores was a major leaguer. And I was like, that kid's going to be a good, solid major league catcher. So good job by the Pirates identifying that piece. I do like that. But again, Mitch Keller's just sitting there collecting dust. You're not going to compete next year. Either that or they're just expectations are way.
But again, it was like both.
Maybe.
I think those two teams that were so focused on the biggest acquisitions, and those acquisitions were costing your untouchable prospects, or for the Red Sox, it might have been Mayer. It might have been, I would imagine Christian Campbell was at the tippy top, and they just weren't willing to make those moves.
All right. Garza, I was offered Kurtz and Munoz for Vlad Jr. and Ciccone in a 12-team dynasty. Should I accept? I still think Vlad's probably the best piece, but Kurtz is younger. Munoz is pretty good. I don't know. This one, I'm tempted to say Kurtz, but I might be just, living in a
prisoner of the moment.
My love for Nick Kurtz. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, because I think you should try to sell it off as like unproven long-term Kurtz. You should get more than, you're getting one of the best closers, but like in Dynasty, not really trying to pay prices for closers. I would be trying to get it. I'd be open to doing that, by the way, but I want a different piece, a better piece with Kurtz, probably a hitter. Maybe it's a better starting pitcher, but
I'm going to stay with Kurtz. Right now, I'm just looking at, right now their numbers, right? Vlad has 15 homers. Kurtz has 23, right? They have the same amount of RBI. Vlad has more runs scored by a good margin. He's got 71 to 47. But Kurtz did also miss some time there too. So only 70 games where Vladdy's played 108 games. So in 108 games, Vladdy still has far less home runs. They're both hitting around 300. Nick Kurtz is a 376 OBP. Vlad has 400. The slugging for Kurtz is just greater. You know what? No, I'm taking Kurtz. He's younger. I think Vlad is already showing you that, I think Kurtz is showing you that he is basically what Vlad has been doing. This version of Vlad that, a Triple Crown winner that people were projecting him to be, I don't think he's that guy. And I think the Blue Jays might have overpaid a little bit for Vlad. I'll be honest with you. I find Vlad to be a guy who is, to me, has not reached the potential. Maybe he will in a couple years. Maybe, I'm not being patient enough, but he's been in the league a while now, and Kurtz is already basically with him. So he's already with him in his rookie season. What could he be 2-3 years from now? That's how I look at that.
Yeah, I'm a firm disagree on all of that. Vlad is 26 years old. He hit 30 homers last year. I think Vlad has some internal,
Kurtz is 22.
No, I know he's younger. That's great. But that's why I said, I'm open to this, but I need another solid piece with Kurtz selling off of a Vladimir Guerrero that, from an age perspective, isn't even into his prime yet, has shown that he's able to, he had a 4.5 launch angle at one point. He's getting the ball in the air, but then he gets back down into these bad tendencies, which is maybe part of the problem, but strikes out 30% of the time, elite batting profile. I don't even think he's gotten into his prime yet. So I want to count that and not just count this year, especially in a dynasty perspective. It was a lower keeper. Maybe it's different. You got to get something else with Kurtz that isn't a closer in dynasty. So that's where I'm at it. But
I would agree.
2 years from now, Kurtz could be massively more valuable because if his batting average sticks with the homers. I'm open to all of it. It's just you are dealing with a track record, and it's not like Vlad is 31. How you were talking, it almost sounded like, it's like, 31 years old, what is he going to do? He's like, he's 26. He's still 26. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy he's still just 26. But again, it's like I've been watching him for a while now, and he had the one great year of 48 home runs, right? That one great year in 2021. Since then, 2022, 32, 26, 30. This year he's at 15. He's on pace for probably about
hit 323 last year with 30 homers. I think that's pretty good too.
It is, but I just feel like Kurtz is already almost there. I just think we're all chasing that 48 home run season, and I just don't know if we're going to ever get back there.
But you want to be careful about chasing 3 months of a rookie as well when you give away this level of an asset
pick in that draft. It wasn't like he was some guy came out some 7th round guy that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, again,
Kurtz is 1st round talent.
I think it's just all you're in the vicinity. It's a really interesting question, and I think a lot of people are saying Kurtz versus Vlad in Dynasty, but I think you should use to your advantage. If you are acquiring Kurtz and you're trading away Vlad, you should use to your advantage that there is only 3 months or 4
No,
months,
that I
small
agree.
sample size,
The
and then you
leverage of
should.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's what I want you to do if you're trading off Vlad, is leverage as much as you can while getting Kurtz, because like this is an A's team, they're in the baby ballpark, like things can change over time, and also
right,
like,
we don't know what that Las Vegas ballpark looks like in a couple of years either, potentially. So there's no good points there. On principle, you should get more than Munoz. I agree. I mean, Munoz is great, but he's a closer still. So the Yankees did fortify the bullpen. We talked about that. Bednar and Doval. We have the Red Sox getting Dustin May. We talked about that. Then Merrill Kelly goes from the Diamondbacks to the Rangers. Kind of weird that the Rangers are buyers, but I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
Did you see too, before you go past that real quick? First off, there was I think it was Mike Gonzalez, who's a reporter, got hacked, and someone had put out that the Mets were acquiring Adolis Garcia, and so it created this it was like, hey, are the Rangers sellers? And they weren't. They ended up getting Merrill Kelly, which, by the way,
Bogman sent me that tweet actually.
Yeah, well, because I think I had sent it to him too. Merrill 3.2 ERA. I think he's going to do very well there. It's a better. I think it's a better fantasy destination essentially at this point. Like, I'm in on that. And a slight note, I'm going to talk about this on my prospect show, but that was the only good trade the Diamondbacks did, because the 3 pitchers they got, all dudes. And I tweeted about this. The lowest guy they got, David Hageman, I saw pitch earlier this year. He's a beast. He is they just drafted him the past year. He is an absolute beast.
2024 draft, man. The gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, man. Hageman is an absolute guy. So they got 3 really, really good pieces for Merrill Kelly. That was their only win of the trade deadline. So from a dynasty perspective, Cole Drake and Mitch Brett might be guys to look at in the Diamondbacks rotation next year. Hageman is a great dynasty option, but Merrill, love him going to the Rangers.
Yeah, it's a good deal for the Rangers. Now we talked
pride
about
of my high school.
You were the guy at the forefront of this. Taj Bradley, he needs to get dealt somewhere, and maybe something will happen. Well, the Twins are going to take that chance. Yeah. They dealt him to the Twins from the Rays. Griffin Jacks was in that deal. Also, Alan Roden and Kendry Rojas from the Blue Jays go to the Twins as well for Louis Varland and Ty France. Adrian Hauser went to the Rays. So that was interesting. I thought Hauser could help a lot of teams. I thought it was kind of interesting. Also, Pepiot had a bad start yesterday, so a little tricky there. So maybe he's hitting a little fatigue window. That's possible. But that one was kind of like, oh, wow, interesting. I love this move for the Rays. I think Hauser's a great addition for them.
And the White Sox got Curtis Mead back. That's the blueprint for rentals. If you're a garbage team, you get these guys, you hope they do what Hauser did, and then you get worthwhile prospects, not like the Pirates signing Tommy Pham and not selling him, or Andrew Heaney and not selling them. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a really good get. The Rays are really very Raysy in how they treated the trade deadline. You know what I mean? Like, nothing was sexy or flashy, but they're like, we'll take Hauser, we'll go take Griffin Jacks. Like, they just did these little Raysy type of things, which, ultimately we sit here and talk about the Yankees and the Red Sox and stuff and the Blue Jays, and it's like the Rays will be super annoying and like they'll win this division with just a bunch of these guys. But they may have just lost Aranda, and Yandy Diaz also got hurt yesterday too.
Yeah, so that Aranda injury did not look great. No. Packers fan Sean Splash and Brody TK, appreciate you guys following us. And McGrady just resub with Prime. Be like McGrady, resub with Prime. And I think we've got it now. The graphic for the new giveaway. So we'll announce on Monday probably who the winner of the Juan Gonzalez jersey is.
We won't announce.
The show will. The royal we. You will announce. But check this one out, Welsh. We've got the brand new Hall of Fame jersey to give away. Boom, Billy Wagner, and it's a Mets one too.
That is actually sexy. Can you believe you're leaving as a Mets Billy Wagner jersey comes up on here? That's very, very sexy. Yeah, we'll talk about it more. We'll talk about it more at the end of the show, because I don't want it to move past. But this is the swan song of the season. I throw 60 innings a year. Look at me. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. I throw 60 innings. I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Billy Wagner seems like a good deal now. You can win this jersey by subscribing to FantasyPros MLB, dropping your comments below, and of course liking the video. That's all you got to do. It's from pristineauction.com. It is a nice jersey though. I didn't know what team it was going to be, but I was pleasantly surprised to see it was the Mets Billy Wagner jersey. Yeah. Brewers acquired Jordan Montgomery and Shelby Miller from the Diamondbacks for a player to be named later. So it's months. Here you go. We're just dumping salary, massive salary dump.
So,
Taylor, go ahead.
So, okay, slight story. So you guys know I wasn't here yesterday. I had an appointment down.
We all know because you're like shot out of a cannon today, Welsh. You were like, I don't know if you took Pez before the show.
Just trying to make. I did.
And this prospect.
Well, there's so much to talk about. There's so many things.
So funny though. Oh my god.
All right, I'm sorry. So,
by the way, JP Morosi, not right about anything. He was
Oh my
saying
God.
yesterday how
People are
Verlander might get
blasting
traded.
him.
No, nothing.
I think I
said I
had
would
a
come back
couple.
today, and I said that I would let everybody know if he was right about anything, and of course he was wrong about everything again.
So
the
quick
record
funny
stands.
story. So I had this appointment yesterday down in Scottsdale, ended even a little bit earlier, and the Bridge League started
Was it for
up
your
out
cocaine problem?
here. Yeah, clearly. I had to go down to get shaved. It was actually a mental health check to shave off the beard to deal with life. So early in the morning, Scottsdale's far, get done with it. And what's in Scottsdale is Salt River Fields, the Bridge League, which is like rookie balls out here. So I'm like, I'm going to go check out the game that's over there because maybe we would see Ethan Holiday, Rockies. Well, guess what? I go out there, I see Ethan Holiday playing as a Rocky. I got video for it. Kason Cunningham I talked to. He's the Diamondbacks' first-round pick. Jordan Lawler is rehabbing in the game. I saw Corbin Burns. I saw all the rehab guys. So all this like crazy stuff going on. Gabby Moreno, very fun to be over there. Got some cool video. Go on my Twitter to check it out. But here's the story. Shelby Miller's out there, and he's training, and he's throwing, and he goes over to a side field. This is on the backfields of the Diamondbacks complex. He comes back out. I'm with a couple people I know in the world, and he goes in. He comes out, and he's got a big old duffel bag, and he starts hugging guys. And someone I know, we're like, dude, Shelby must have just got traded. He's hugging players. Pavin Smith was out there working at first base, by the way, and he walks by. They give a little pound. Shelby Miller walks out. Usually guys don't have a big duffel bag when they leave. So I'm like, oh, man, this would be funny. Don't know if he got traded. We'll see. Trade deadline passes. Shelby Miller doesn't get traded. So Bogman and I are doing a live stream, and I tell this story, and I'm like, man, I really thought I was going to be able to break some news, and he didn't get traded. 5 minutes later, they announced 20 minutes after the deadline that Shelby Miller had in fact been traded with Jordan Montgomery for nothing, for just literally save us a couple bucks. But it was a very funny experience being at a field on trade deadline day. All the young prospects were talking about the trade deadline, and they were rumor milling about it, talking about the Mets. Cedric Mullins got traded, but being there while players are a little edgy, Pavin Smith was a little bit edgy, and Shelby got traded. But he knew 3 or 4 hours before anything was announced after the deadline. I know it doesn't have a big whatever. I just thought it was an interesting story of like duffel bag hugging dudes. And then 4 hours later, he's traded for actually literally nothing.
Well, a player to be named later. So,
but like they didn't get anything. It's going to be cash. It's just cash.
The Tigers made their big move. Charlie Morton. Oh, God. Miguel Andujar went to the Reds. Matt Manning went to the Phillies, which I thought was interesting. Once upon a time, one of the top prospects in that system. And then some of the new guys, the newly acquired, were making some impacts yesterday. Small slate of games, very, very small. Eugenio Suarez scored a run and a win for the Mariners. And Brian Hayes 1 for 4 and hit 3-run home run. Look at him go against the Braves. Oh, the Braves. Transactions yesterday, not trade related. The Cubs designated Ryan Presley for assignment. Wow. What a failed experiment that was. We got a couple months of Ryan Presley. He was supposed to be the closer. He went from supposedly the closer to gone by August 1st. That's quite a whirlwind for Ryan Presley.
I think there's a big plus. I noted this. I think Daniel Palencia, it's a big plus for him because Porter Hodge got reactivated and sent down. They kicked Ryan Presley to the curb. I think all they did was they just solidified like Palencia's their guy. They got a couple guys to, just end up being that protection, but nobody that's going to take the job from him. So the Presley move to me was like, wow, they are just fully committed to him as the closer. So in a fantasy perspective, I thought he, got like a really big boost from the deadline as well.
All this has done for me this entire trade deadline is reinforce my closer theory going into any draft now, which is I literally don't care. I'm just going to take the closers wherever I can that are cheap at the end. The turnover, the injuries, the bad performance, the trade deadline opening up the last 2 months for saves to catch up if you are speculating in bullpens properly. It's just no need for it. It just isn't anymore. And I don't know. That's been my approach. And then the more shallow the league, the more I'm apt to do that. If you're in a deeper league that has mandatory RP spots, it's a little different. Then I'm a little bit more apt to, be aware of at least grabbing one guy that I think, okay, this is a real closer who's going to hang in there all year long. But if it's wide open and I just think about all the guys in all the leagues I'm in this year that I've cycled through, the Vests, the Bednars, the Fairbanks, the Ronnie Enriquez's, like the Palencias, Aroldis Chapman, nobody wanted. I drafted him late in a bunch of leagues. it's just funny to me. Like, it's just the value is just not worth taking over position players or starting pitchers, in my opinion, anymore.
I definitely, I think I'm always going to kind of stick because I play in a lot of RP even if it's not an RP mandatory, if it's like Roto and I want to get on saves, I like to get one guy. And sometimes it does not work out for me. 2 years ago, it didn't, but this year it did because who was my guy? Andres Munoz, and he's been incredible. So that worked out, but it's like, give me one of those guys who's not an elite player and then bottom barrel, just, live in the mud, dance around during the waiver wire and stuff like this. I mean, in the last 3 days, Cade Smith probably jumps into being a top 10 closer, but that's a gambling issue. And then like Randy Rodriguez, as Lucius put in here, like Duvall getting traded doesn't look like Ryan Walker would be. Randy Rodriguez legitimately, if he becomes the full set closer for them, dude might be a top 10, top 12 closer as well. So like we had so many jobs change to your point yesterday and a couple very significant. I think Kyle Finnegan, by the way, way up as the Tigers closer. I think Randy Rodriguez is big. It is huge.
Yes, sir, too. No Alcantara, no Robert, no Edward Cabrera, right? The Marlins held true pretty much. It's kind of surprising. Like some of the guys that we thought going into the year were absolutely going to get traded did not. And those were like the big two, especially Alcantara and Robert. Those were the big two. Why that didn't happen, I can't tell you. Maybe the Marlins see themselves with Stowers all of a sudden and this pitching staff being, hey, we're a third place team. Maybe we can find our way to the playoffs next year. I think it's false advertising. I think they're out of their mind, but I get it. They've been bad for so long. Maybe they're trying to show something to the fan base. Maybe either that or they just couldn't get what they wanted to. So I don't know. By the way, Funk Uncle Funkle just followed us.
Dude,
so
I
you
saw
thought
that.
I was going to screw that up.
I actually smirked about 30 seconds ago looking at that name being like, my God, please don't try to say that because if this is your swan song show, you're going to go out with a bang.
Well, we just got flagged, I'm sure, because of it. All right, let's go a little 3 up and 3 down. Ozzie Albies 4 for 6 with a double, 2 runs scored. George Kirby struck out 6 in 6 innings. And Cal Raleigh, I got him for a home run call yesterday. Yay, nice. Got one on the way out. Thanks, everybody. Hit a solo home run, 6-0 win there for the M's. The downs, Kumar Rocker got the loss yesterday, 3 runs, 4 2/3. Andrew Abbott, no decision for him. One of the rare struggle bus ones for him. It wasn't terrible. No. There wasn't a lot of games yesterday, so don't take it personally, Andrew. Normally, you wouldn't have made this list, but he didn't have a lot to go on. And then Ryan Pepiot, season high, 7 runs, 4 innings. Just a dreadful game for him. Pepiot's been a little off lately. I think it's fatigue. What do you think it might be?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that kind of seems right. I don't know.
We're right around 120 innings. Like, it's like, yeah, this is kind of what we're going to do, right? Like, this is it.
Okay. Yeah. So I see how you were saying that. I guess I was going to counter it to be like, yeah, I guess you could say fatigue. But I was going to be like, but it might be innings, which you meant the exact same thing. Yeah. He had 130 last year. He's August 1st
right now.
And he's got, exactly. He's got 0.1 more innings than he had last season. So yeah, you're pressing up against probably his limits. Also might have been why, you get more bullpen help. I think it is interesting. All the teams that went out and acquired multiple relief pitchers in this, you kind of could maybe see scenarios or build a scenario that the starters that they have, they might really want them to start only going 5. Something to watch. That could kill quality start leagues. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you don't want your starters to be pushing innings. Maybe some of the, like a guy like Pepiot, maybe you need to push him under 90 on each start just to kind of keep him healthy. So I'm not 100% sure, but they traded away one depth guy in Bradley, and Pepiot's kind of tapering back, and they've been babying Rasmussen. Be very interesting to see. But is that something that makes you want to get off of Ryan Pepiot in fantasy right now?
No, but it does have me a little concerned, and I think it's just something to be aware of. Now, it's also yesterday they're playing the Yankees, so you could also chalk it up to that, small ballpark, all that fun stuff. But just something to be aware of more. I'll tell you what, I didn't start him this week in my home league because it was against the Yankees, and that thought process looked to be correct. Red Sox had 2 injuries, Hunter Dobbins to the 60-day IL and Tanner Houck to the 60-day IL too, which brings us to the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. I'm going to start here with the Baltimore Orioles today. That's right. Trevor Rogers on the mound, and I don't care if the Cubs made some moves. I'm going against the Cubs today. Take that, wonky penguin. Baltimore money line plus 120. Trevor Rogers has been spectacular, so I'm going to continue to roll with Trevor Rogers, be confident in him. On the money line, plus money, yes please. San Diego Padres on the run line with all those new fun pieces, -1.5. You get this at +134. Nick Pivetta on the mound against the Cardinals. They stink. And then the New York Yankees, I'm going to push that run line, Welsh. I'm going to push my luck to -2.5 because Carlos Rodon is going against the junk man himself. And I think that the Yankees can beat up on the Marlins a little bit, especially now Sanchez has been traded too. It's another big piece out of that lineup. So those are my best bets of the day. Welsh, how about you?
All right, well, let's jump into it. I am going to back the Brewers. I'm going to back the Brewers through, where did I have it? I have the Brewers through the first 5. We're going to take the run line. So this is simply through the first 5 innings, the Brewers are going to be leading. They're going to have at least 1 run. This is about -120. Mitchell Parker's got almost 5 ERA. Washington has been tapering in the wrong direction. Quintana has a 3.5 ERA. He's been very solid. We're going to have to see how this team plays without Churio here. But I really like this situation specifically because this is going up against the Nationals. I'm also going to back the Cleveland Guardians. Probably they're a little uncomfortable seeing their name in a line next to it on a betting segment. But I am going to take them with Gavin Williams. Guardians are going up against the Twins. It is Joe Ryan. But Twins are messy right now. They lost Correa. There's just a whole bunch. The bullpen is obviously decimated. I don't trust outside of what Joe Ryan's going to do much of anything, but that's also why we're jumping into the full game. So full game money line for Cleveland. You still got Jose Ramirez, got Kwan. He didn't get traded. And you know what? Perfect tag to give you guys. Make sure you download the Betting Pros app because look, I'm also taking San Diego run line -1.5. Why do you do it? Well, first off, yeah, right there, you can get the 7-day free leading off free trial. If you use that promo code leading off, you get 7-day free trial to get all of the cool stuff that we have. But more than anything else, you can easily shop lines. You can go and pick a game and you can see what all the books have. And I've got a worse line than Joe. Joe wins. And you win if you have the Betting Pros app. You can check all the lines in one spot from all the major books. You can pick it, bing, bang, boom. You're set up because we are tailing the same bet, but make sure you get the best lines with Betting Pros and get that premium stuff with the promo code leading off.
And make sure you also place that first bet over on FanDuel. $5 can win you $250 in bonus bets when your first bet hits. Only on FanDuel, fantasypros.com/leading off. That's where you should place your bets. Let's look at the home run board and see what's going on here. Whips at 45, breaking away from George at 44. The Grouch at 43. Far out 42. I love this. 40 home run seasons from the home run board. That's pretty damn good there. I did get another one yesterday. I don't know what that leaves me with for the year before I leave. I'm almost at 30, I want to say, or somewhere close to it.
You're probably past me. I have no idea where either one of us are.
No, I think you're still ahead of me by 1. Michael says I'm at 26. So there you go. I'm at 26 here. Again, Sammy Sosa jersey up for grabs here. Autographed by Sammy Sosa himself. He's not busy right now. He's not doing any Hall of Fame speeches. So it's time for the perpetuity home run call for the rest of the year. And you know what? I'm going to let the Cal Raleigh ride. The man is having a fantastic season. Let's go. Big dumper all the way. He got me my last home run. I want him to get me the most home runs. And if I get on the board somehow in August or September, I will make an appearance on this show if I get on the home run board. Well,
how about this?
Your home run call for the weekend.
If you get on the board, you have to do the rest of the shows from there on out where you're on the board.
Ooh, that's
going to get on the board.
You're
You're at 20. Okay, but hold on. You're at 20. You're at 26. What's the bottom of the board? Can you guys put
31? That up real quick? That's only 5. It's not an impossibility.
I think. Aren't you a gambling man?
Oh, no,
33? Come on.
No, that's fine. Okay.
All
right. Yes, I got to come and do the rest of the shows then.
So people are going to be rooting for you. I'm going to take your boy Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz for the home run call in perpetuity of the weekend is what I will do. Not the band, but this actual weekend. I'm going to go with Nick Kurtz. And it's sad, Joey. You're going to be going. And people don't understand. In perpetuity is because this is Joe's last show of the season. That's it. This is a seasonal thing that happens.
My tradition.
So we should prepare people for what the rest of the month is going to be in a second. But are you going to be sad letting go of baseball? I would say this has been maybe one of your better since I have even been with you. That's not a knock of anything, but like you've been so jazzed up on baseball than ever.
The Mets last year reinvigorated my love for baseball, and I think that kind of just spurned into the Black Book offseason, spurned into our offseason together, and then into the shows this year, which have been great. It's the first year in a while where I haven't been itchy about getting off the baseball shows.
Good way to say it.
Sometimes by like when I get to mid-June or July 4th, I'm just like, all right, it's football time, and my brain starts to melt, and I need to, just kind of pick, because I'm doing the betting shows, I'm doing the podcast, we're doing all the live shows for NFL. We're doing them here on Twitch, by the way. You can go check it out on Twitch. We're here for NFL shows, too, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the days. Mondays at 4, Tuesdays at 2, Wednesdays at 2, Thursdays and Fridays at 5. You can check us out talking football. We had a great show yesterday, too. But yeah, and like I love our community. People said, well, if we go to Twitch, they're not going to follow us. Well, they did. And more new people have found us. And it's really helped grow the YouTube channel. So
record highs on YouTube all year.
Record highs on YouTube for us and subscribers and for views this year. We're crushing it. And it's because of everybody who's part of this little cult community, which I love. And I love that it's growing. And for us to keep growing it, we had to move the live somewhere else because the live every day on YouTube was hurting the numbers. So that's something we've got to, we got to do for business. And I'm so happy that we didn't lose our audience. In fact, we grew our audience. And I think that is really terrific. I won't miss Jack Leiter at all. I can tell you that. I'm not going to miss
Michael
him.
Harris.
Michael Harris I'll miss because I love being right so much. But, it's that time of year. So I begrudgingly, I'm going to have to get pulled off the baseball show. But I will say this. I appreciate all the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. I love what we've done in baseball this year. The short form show has been amazing. Working with Welsh is always amazing. Joe Rico is amazing. Our producer team, Seth and Callie, amazing. Ethan doing graphics. It takes a lot of people to do this show. And of course, all of the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks hanging out with us every single day. And so we want to just brighten your day with a little baseball talk every single day. And that was our goal. And I think that we've done that, whether it's fantasy, wagering, just having fun. I'm so proud of what we've done because they told us it couldn't be done, Welsh.
Yeah, and we do it differently. We do it differently than what we do here at Fantasy Pros. That's the other thing, if you guys don't realize that. Like, we do so much and buttoned up and, football is king and whatever. But, like, what we've done with baseball has been different. I think we've also done it differently than what's the space of fantasy baseball and how people do it. And I think it's
very, very, serious. And we're serious, but we're passionate and fun, too, at the same time. And, that's part of it. So, look, continue to support the show when Casey Bubba's here, when Joe Rico's here, and when Welsh is here and I'm not here, because that's how we continue to grow.
And so here is what you guys can prepare for. So August does bring the slight negative that we are not 5 days a week anymore.
Right.
So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are your shows. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same time that we do. Podcast. Everything is same. It's just there's no Tuesday and no Thursday. Joe Rico. I requested in my writer, I said, if I'm going to not do a show with the Joe Pisapia, I have to have another Joe. So they acquiesced. My purple M&Ms or blue, actually green M&Ms. There's no such thing as a purple M&M, and another Joe. So Joe Arico will be the host with me on Mondays and Wednesdays. I won't be on Fridays. And that's going to be where Casey Bubba tags in with Joe Arico. And then September, Joe and Bubba are going to take you guys home. But the big thing to know is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, lock it in.
You know what, Welsh? Yeah, maybe I've changed my tune. Maybe I'll stay for baseball. Maybe I'll just stay. Oh, no. Who's that? Oh, no, Derek Brown. Oh, no. He's pulling me away to football. Wait, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
You should do the video.
I gotta go to football.
Joey P, man, with stats in hand, spilling numbers like grains of sand. Fancy talking about diamond dreams, chasing players, whispering their schemes. Oh, Welsh, breaking it down real slow, voices howling in the radio's glow. Talking monsters on the baseball field, wizards swinging bats and magic shields. Fantasy baseball in the night, podcasters giving us that sight. Question marks and stars collide, dreams of glory never hide.
Joey Derek Brown. Or end it before we say something bad and the show gets canceled.
You better.
Hot mics.
Hot mics. Be careful. Hot